What is up, Life Fighters? Welcome back to the channel. This is Life Fighters Anonymous. Are you too fat to walk up a hill? Well, me too, and lucky for you, today we are going down hills.
There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. Think it's time we stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Break.
All right, what is up, guys? So our warfighting skills obviously are shoot, move, and communicate. And part of movement here in the hills of Missouri sometimes is getting and navigating over these big ass hills. And sometimes if the hill is too big or too bad to navigate, you will need some assistance from a rope. So having some rope skills and some rope knowledge and some training is pretty much, I think, is essential for the light fighter. But if you don't know what you can do and you can provide to your team, ropes aren't that expensive. They don't cost what a first-person view drone costs. They don't cost what a thermal costs. The ATF won't let you have a machine gun. So buy yourself a rope, learn some basic ropes and knots, and you can be an asset to your team with that knowledge alone.
Do you know what we need, man? Some rope. Absolutely.
What are you, insane?
All right, guys, so first step of setting up any rope system, guys, is finding an appropriate anchor, okay? And we are going to be set up to go down this little short little bluff right here. We're not going down the steep side because there's only two of us and we don't actually want to die. But just for some practice, we can use our entire system going down this about 45-degree slope right here. And this anchor right here, this tree, is going to provide us a good anchor. So when you're looking for an anchor, you want to use the rule of 5, 5, and alive. You want at least a 5-inch tree or something that's rooted really well, something that's alive, so its root system's intact, and then it's at least 5 feet tall, or at least up your shoulder or so. And also another good rule of thumb is just use something as big as your quadricep, your quad muscle right here. So when you find that, you can pretty much trust that it's going to be a pretty steady anchor for at least a simple system or a one-man system. So real quick, I'm going to pull out some of my equipment here, and we're going to talk over how do we set up an expedient anchor. And I like expedient anchors because I'm kind of fucking stupid, and expedient anchors are fast and simple to remember. So when we're setting up our anchor, we want to start with a strap that's long enough. That one's not going to be quite long enough for this tree. And that one's going to be a little short too. So I'll just go to my longer ones here. And I like to use a very simple method that we use in the fire service to make an anchor called a wrap 3 and pull 2. Now bear with me real quick. I'm going to have to work these water knots out of here.
Oh, this ain't Charlie Bronson's always got a rope.
What?
Got a lot of rope strapped around him in the movies, and they always end up using it.
Setting up the wrap 3, pull 2. It's simple. What you're going to do is you're going to wrap your anchor 3 times, and then you're going to pull 2. So reach around it, wrap your rope or nylon webbing 3 times. 1, 2, and then finally, hopefully we've got enough webbing here. 3, and we are close. And if I can adjust all this around, it's going to be a nightmare with all this friction. So let me get you set up so we're going to be tying it right in front of your face here. 1, 2, and 3 wraps. And if I dress this up on this tree appropriately, we should be able to finish again with another water knot. Again, we finish our nylon webbing with water knots. If you're using a rope for this, which you can, you would want to use probably a fisherman's knot. An overhand knot's probably fine too. There's no reason to get too technical with your knots. I prefer not having to remember a whole lot of them.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Get training.
This is all bullshit. This is all a joke. None of this is real.
Disclaimer.
All right. Now, as you can see here, my nylon piece of webbing was almost not big enough for this tree, but that is okay. It did make a perfectly good fisherman's knot. I trust that. And now we've wrapped our tree 3 times, and we're going to pull 2. We're just going to take any 2 of these, preferably not the one with your knot in it, and we're going to pull them. And what this is going to do is this is going to stabilize your anchor on this tree. It's also going to hug it right here at this point so it doesn't go traveling up and down at all. From this point, you've got a pretty steady anchor. All you got to do is get out a good, nice anchor carabiner and then clip into it. When you're clipping into these systems, you clip down like Captain Hook. That way when I flip it over, I'm able to clip into my system like that. And if you've got screw locks, go ahead and use them. So at this point, this is a perfectly good anchor for me to start setting up my rope to descend this hill. Yeah, it's like a tool loop. What's this for? All right, we got our nut huggers on. Here you go. All right, guys, so it took us way too long for two old ass men to put these fucking harnesses on. These are also cheap harnesses, kind of our fault, but we were just practicing out here. At one point, try to wear them above your actual pant line belt if you can. That's a little bit more secure. And then get them nice and tight while you're here on flat land, because they will surprisingly tighten quite a bit no matter what when you're on the rope. And if you're not ready for that tightness, it can be surprising. So, don't fall backwards. Setting up our rappel here system is pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and clear our path for our rope. And when you're descending or rappelling, there's a couple different methods you can use with the rope. You can go with like a twin. I don't know the exact terminology. There's going to be some real climbers in the comment section that eat my ass for this. But you can go, it's not called a double rope because that's actually two ropes. But you can go on a twin line or a half rope, or you can go on a single line rappel. So what I've got here is, when I'm in this nice loop, is I've got the half point of my rope. A perfectly appropriate way to rappel this cliff would be take this half point in this loop and hook it right there in the system, send my rope down, clip into it, and go. And that's the twin line or two line rappel. The advantage of that is it's a little bit slower. It gives you more friction through your rappel device or your belay device, whichever you're using. And it's a little bit easier to control. Downside is you only get to use half the length of the rope you bought. So this is a 150-foot rope, about 60 meters, and that would give us a 30-meter or 75-foot rappel. We're going to go ahead and try that the first time we go down. We're going to set up on a double system, and then maybe might try to go further, depending on how long this hill is. So what I want to do is I want to send my rope down. Granted, this isn't incredibly steep, so I might have to walk it down. I might have to walk it down my first rappel as we go, but that's okay. We can work through it. Now, the figure eight, if you don't mind coming a little closer here, I'm going to get set up. This is a rescued figure eight device. A normal figure eight wouldn't have these two little hooks on the side. They are pretty simple to use. Again, I'm hooking into my system, so just like I'm hooking into that system, I hook down, and then when it spins around, it's upwards, ready for me to work my controls. And remember, you want to screw down so you don't screw up. So see how this screw goes down? It's falling down. That will prevent it from loosening if it was oriented up. So screw down so you don't screw up. It's another one of those little things people say to make you smarter. All right, guys, when hooking into this rappel, I'm going to want the rope on my right side. I'm going to go ahead and hook in on the left side because that's just how we're set up right now. But to use the rescue aid, it's pretty simple. Your rappel rope or descending rope goes through the main loop and then around this back loop. And then, obviously, if your rope's nice and dressed up, it will stay dressed. And then you hook into here and then screw it on in. Now I'm set up for a left-handed brake hand, and right hand really doesn't need to be on here. Some people like to put belay or rappel extensions on here just to keep this stuff kind of out and away from your workspace. I'm going to go without it. That's just one extra thing to carry, but you can make that out of some 8mm cord or some more nylon webbing. Last thing is safety first, guys. I don't want to be around these cliffs or using ropes without a helmet on. This is a fall rated OSHA rated Adidas hat that I'm wearing, so don't worry about that. And then what I am more concerned about is my damn hands, because I love my hands. You want to be wearing a good set of, I'd encourage them to be leather, or just anything that's Rappel or Rappel rated. So a good set of gloves. So, very simple when using this device. I'm going to have quite a bit of friction, but my brake hand is going to stay a good distance away from this Rappel device, because what can happen if I get too close is, especially wearing gloves, my finger can get pulled in here and then I don't have a finger anymore. So that's not fun. So when I'm using this, I want to keep my brake hand nice back here behind my back, and that way I can just control my rappel. So if I want to go now, if I'm rappelling, all I have to do is come out to the side, and you can see that as I come out to the side, I immediately start losing some friction through this device, and I start going, all right? Your go is right here. Also, with these figure eights, you can loop them around here, and you can make yourself an expedient little catch to stop yourself, to bind yourself off. But that's advanced. You don't really have to worry about that. We're just trying to get down this hill. As well, you could back this up with a prusik. Then you'd have to mind your prusik. That's a pain in the ass. I don't think you're ever going to want to have to do that and manage all your equipment and a prusik in the field. So you could be safer than I am being right now, but this is how I'm probably going to end up doing it in the field. Got any input, Dave?
Maximum safety. You're safety maxing right now.
Safety maxing. All right, so I'm probably going to try not to embarrass myself and just descend this a little bit. Just because we were walking down a hill. Oh, I don't want to lose these. Camouflage webbing blends in. That's why it's sometimes good to have orange webbing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this left-handed. I'll give it a try. Why not? Mm-hmm. This hand also, keep it away from the device. It doesn't need to stay up here. It's kind of free to do whatever you want. And then, obviously, I got a mess of rope that I'm going to have to manage as I go down here. So. Mm-hmm. One other thing I'd like to mention now that I'm thinking about it, when you're rappelling on a rope, it's nice to be on a closed system. So I'm going to go ahead and tie a figure eight knot in there, which I should have done earlier. Ideally, that keeps me from falling off the bottom end of my rope. All right. On rappel! I don't have anybody belaying me, so. Nobody here.
What is it? Belay on?
I don't know.
On
what they
rappel,
said. I learned in
belay
Boy
on.
Scouts. He said on rappel, rappel on belay, belay on. I don't remember. Climbing, we did it different than rappelling. And when I was a high-rise window cleaner, we didn't do any of this fucking shit. We just hang off sting pipes all day long, just get the job done. All right. So the downside of the double rope is we've got a lot more hill to descend, and I'm at the bottom of my system. At this point, my partners might be at the top of the hill. They could send some equipment down. They could start setting up their system, clipping up there, and come down to me, and we could reestablish the system, pull our rope, leaving minimal equipment behind because it just clipped in over that carabiner, and then we could continue descending. Now, granted, if you're setting up that specific anchor system, you are going to be leaving some equipment behind as you go, but that's just something you might need to prepare for or deal with. Cool. You ready to go?
Oh yeah.
All right, sweet. I'm going to go ahead and clip out of here.
Hook up so that we can go down.
Hook up so we can go down. Hell yeah, right on, brother.
Hook up so you can go down.
Oh, you got a moan when it happens too. All right, so you've rappelled before, right? Well, you just saw my amazing information as well. So, how? So yeah, people are going to encourage you to wear your rifle on your other side if you're going to break on your right side. I'll save you the YouTube harassment. This guy didn't even go to 10th Mountain School. He's going to wear it in front. Okay, that's also a technique. Let's go for it. Oh, yep. Hoping you bust your ass doing that.
Was that thing called a nap knot?
Oh, I didn't have a name for it. I don't think. It's just a little stop.
You take a nap?
Oh, okay. Nap knot. That's a good idea. I get it. I'm fucking retarded. I'm behind the eight ball. Floaters in here. Compliments of Cana provisions.
Your
You free floaters in your Cana provisions.
your water container problems.
Makes my stomach flora stronger. All right, live fighters, what is up? We just got done doing a double rope, or don't think it's called a double rope rappel, a twin rope, rappelling off a rope that is folded in half. But now we want to transition to a single rope rappel so we can get some more distance down the hill. We're actually going to go down a little steeper portion as well. So what I've gone ahead and done here is I've retrieved my rope just by pulling it up from the top here. And we still have the halfway point right here. What I want to find is now the end of the rope. And when you're setting up a single rope rappel, you're going to need to find a way or make a way to secure the end of your rope to your anchor system. And what I prefer to do is obviously the same knot you use to tie in, and it's going to be a figure eight. So your figure eight and your figure eight family of knots are very, very simple. To tie one, you make an alien head. That's 2 twists, not 1 twist. Aliens are twisted twice, and then you poke them in the eye. Boom. You now have a figure eight knot like that. At this point, you can draw it through here and retrace it, or you can just tie a figure eight on a bite, which means you take a bite like this. This is a bite of a rope, and then you do everything with 2 of them. So you make a double thick alien head, and you poke him in the eye. And now I've got a double figure eight right here, which I can clip to my system like so. Remember, screw up so you don't screw down, or whatever Dave said earlier. And then one other thing a lot of people do is they just tie a little overhand knot right here. They call it a safety knot. Why? I don't know. Safety, I guess. But now at this point, I've got all my rope up here, but I am set up for a single rope rappel. We're going to try and throw some of this rope down this hill here, and then we're going to do some single rope rappelling, single line rappelling.
If you don't know the right knot, can you just tie a lot?
That's actually, here, zoom in close, because there is a knot you're supposed to know that if you don't have the Rescue 8, you can always rappel off what's called a Munter Hitch. Now I'm going to embarrass myself in front of everyone here, because I don't remember if I know a Munter Hitch. I don't know if I remember the Munter Hitch properly. But it is a simple little way you can just rappel off your rope. So I know pretty sure this is it right here. And then I'm going to clip in like that. Problem is I'm set up for left-handed now. So I don't want to be left-handed. But this is a simple little rappel knot. So when you're back here, let me put some tension on this system so you can see it working. When you're back here, this bites with enough friction to stop. The other cool part about the Munter Hitch is also up here is stop. So you've got 2 stops with this knot. You've got a stop here and a stop back here. Go is right here, or feed and stuff. So this works just as well as a Rescue 8. I'm stopped up here as well. So I like Munter Hitches as well. You can also use these on a double line. And if you don't have the figure 8, the Rescue 8 hardware, you just need a carabiner to rappel. This is all it takes. Let's see if I can figure out how to tie this right-handed. I'm gonna embarrass myself. So I know you make a loop and you fold it over, and you want to bite the twin side. So I didn't do it right. Make a loop this way, fold it over. Is that going to be right? It doesn't feel right. This isn't right.
Can you just do a cartwheel to the right and then they would flip over?
The fuck is a cartwheel to the right? Is that my physical body?
Yeah.
Maybe it might be. So anyway, practice your Munter Hitches. Know your knots. This is why it's important, so you can do this in a fly. Is that right? Still left-handed.
Start your tail on the other side.
Yeah. Well, fuck it. Use Rescue 8. It's easier. Practice knots at home. All right. All right. So single rope rappel. I've got to manage all this rope that's above me here. We didn't get down the hill very well. That's going to be a nightmare here in a second. This is exactly the nightmare I expected it to be. All right, I'm on a Munter Hitch. I hope that's a Munter Hitch. He's on the rescue aid. He's going to give me some space to go. And I'm right-handed and we're off. So yeah, I'm going to stay in line. Make sure I go the right direction here. All right, let me make sure I don't glove this whole shot up. I'm going to glove this shot up a lot. There we go. Ooh, I'm coming just fine. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Goddamn twigs in my shit. Woo! Alright. 1 second. I'm coming off the system. Alright guys, so we've had a fun day rappelling here on this hill, but I wanted to go over one other quick and expedient anchor system because, as you saw earlier, I almost ran out of a long enough piece of nylon webbing to wrap this big tree to use as our anchor today. But that wouldn't have been a problem because I know a couple more quick and easy anchor systems that we could have used. So let's just go ahead and pretend here. I'm going to pull some rope up.
It's going to take a while.
Let's just go ahead and pretend here that I don't have this piece of nylon webbing, and I'll remove it in a second. What else could I do? Basically, is affix this rope to the tree. Now, the simplest method you can do is you could just, tie an overhand knot on, but that's not the right way. A lot of people leave their end of their rope set up with a double figure eight and a safety knot and a carabiner right here. And that's so you can easily clip onto something, clip onto an anchor system if you have it and you're ready to go. Or, worst case scenario, you can use what's called a tensionless hitch. And a tensionless hitch is one of the most simple anchor systems because there are no knots involved. It is simply a system in which you wrap your rope around a few times. And I say a few, I think the minimum is about 3. I like to go about 5. And as you wrap it, you want your rope to kind of rest. So you want to go below your rope where you went last time. There's 4. And it looks like I got about 1 more if I give my system a little bit of play here. And we can come around, dress it up, which just means and very quickly here, you just take this, and the hilarity of the tensionless hitch is I would hang all day off this right there. That ain't going no fucking where. Promise you that. But to do it the right way, you take your carabiner and you close your system. And that gives you, basically, you're just hanging off rope friction around your piling. Now, if you're using a piling that's smooth metal, wrap it a few more times. If you've got this really grippy bark tree, you could get away with just 3 wraps and honestly not even secure your carabiner. But do secure your carabiner for safety. So this is a tensionless hitch, guys. This is a super expedient system to set up. Obviously, you just wrap the tree and clip it on. So I like that because of how simple it is. And it's also incredibly simple to remove. Unless you got a really grippy tree. But rock on, guys. Stay sharp. This is a couple quick, expedient field anchor systems.
Dude, that's stupid. And one thing you're gonna need a rope for. I don't fucking know what you're gonna need it for. They just always need it.